the class. They're just finishing the exam and saying, no, I don't want to enter the class like that. They're being lazy.
So you just finish the exam and sleep.
Maybe.
That's
Or
their
watch
problem.
YouTube.
Okay, no problem. So today we'll make a quick revision. We have already studied some types of sentences, like the simple sentence, the compound, and today we will speak about the complex sentence and also the compound. Complex, we'll just take some information about it. And of course, using the sentence will of course enhance your writing process. So once a writer knows the difference between the three types of sentence, simple, compound, and complex, it's possible to write with sentence variety. Sentence variety helps to make your writing more interesting. Like for example, instead of writing a whole paragraph, all of it is out of simple sentence, you can alternate, change, make a variety of sentence, many sentences, or different types of sentences. Number one that we have already studied is the simple sentence. Can you still remember the definition of a simple sentence? What is a simple sentence, Hatib?
Yes.
What is a simple sentence? Yes.
I can give an example or identify it. I'll give an example. Muhammad plays football.
Muhammad plays football. So this sentence, why do we call it simple sentence?
Because it's like a sentence that not have more details. It's just simple and have like a little bit of details that say like Muhammad plays football and like that. I think so. I'm not sure.
What does it contain?
It contains a subject,
Muhammad,
and
verb,
the verb, yes, and I think object.
And the object. Nice. So, for example, Muhammad plays. This sentence is divided into three parts. Number one, the subject. Number two, the action verb. And number three, the rest of the sentence, which is the direct object in this sentence. So we call this sentence a simple one because number one, we have only one subject. And mention this, whether the subject is simple or compound, it's still considered to be one subject. What does this mean? So Muhammad is a singular subject. Muhammad is singular subject. Why do we call it singular? Because only Muhammad.
Maybe there's no more subjects, like maybe only Muhammad. There is no, like, for example, Muhammad and Ali, or Muhammad and like Naif, or Muhammad and like that. There's not. There's only one.
Case, Muhammad and Ali play football. Does it still consider to be a simple sentence?
I think so. Yes.
So, although that we have a compound subject, two persons performing the same action, yet still the sentence is a simple one. And even though if I said play football and play football and watch TV, for example, or play and watch football games. So here is in this sentence right now, we have what? We have a compound subject and we have a compound verb. Yet the sentence is still a simple sentence. So once again, the simple sentence, it means that contains a subject and a verb, whether this subject is simple or compound. And the verb also can be simple or compound. express one single complete idea or information or thought. That's the most important thing about a simple sentence. So you may have a single subject and a single verb, or a compound subject and a singular verb, or a compound subject and a compound verb. Yet all of them must express one thought, like this sentence. Muhammad and Ali play and watch video games or football games. So although that you have compound subject and compound verb, the whole sentence expresses one complete idea. Also, a simple sentence is a single independent clause. What is the meaning of an independent clause? Hussein?
Yes, teacher.
What is the meaning of an independent clause?
Independent clause that can stay alone. Makes sense.
It stands alone. So it has the subject, it has the verb, and also the complete thought. This is the meaning of an independent clause. Subject, verb, and complete idea or complete thought. So that's a simple sentence. Some samples of simple sentences. The cat crept through the dark house. So the cat, of course, here is the subject. Crept is the verb. Through the dark house, prepositional phrase. The worry mouse watched from underneath and unturned the cereal box. So, where is the subject in this sentence? Abdurrahman, you can write the subject in the. I need the simple subject in this sentence. The worry mouse watched from underneath and unturned the cereal box. So, Abdurrahman, what is the simple subject of this sentence? Come on, Abdurrahman. Okay, so we have the worry mouse. All of it is the complete subject, but only mouse is the simple subject, and worry is an adjective describing the mouse. Watch the action verb, and from underneath that's the prepositional phrase or the rest of the sentence. The predatory cat stopped and surveyed his surroundings. So cat is the subject, of course. Predatory is the adjective. Cat is the subject. Stopped is the verb. Surveyed is another verb. His surrounding is the object. And of course his is a possessive pronoun. So all of these sentences, although that you can have one single subject, you can have an adjective before the subject, one single verb, a compound verb, yet all of them are samples of the simple sentence because they express one simple idea. And of course the mouse darted from the safety of the nearly invisible hole under the carpet. The same thing. What about the compound sentence? What does a compound sentence consist of? Anyone? Can anyone give me an example? Can anyone give me an example about the compound sentence?
Can I?
Okay.
For example, I went to the bakery store and bought 2 kilograms of bread.
I went to the bakery store and I bought 2 kilos of flour. Right?
Yes.
So why do you call this compound sentence acid? Hussein,
Yes, teacher.
why do you call this sentence compound one?
First thing, because it has a conjunction, coordinating conjunction, and a comma, and it combines 2 sentences.
Okay, so here we have one sentence, and here we have another sentence. So this sentence alone can be a sentence, and this one alone can be a sentence. So I went to the bakery store, that's a simple sentence. I bought 2 kilos of flour, that's another sentence. So consequently, what did you do? You brought 2 simple sentences and you just joined them using a comma and a coordinating conjunction. So here you have the subject, here you have the verb, and here you have the rest of the sentence. So 2 complete ideas or 2 complete information joined together using the conjunction, and so that's why we call it compound sentence. So simply we can say that any compound sentence is when you bring one simple sentence plus comma plus conjunction plus another simple sentence. And that's your math equation. So one simple sentence plus comma plus conjunction plus another simple sentence, you got the compound one. So compound sentence is 2 independent clauses. 2 independent clauses means 2 simple sentences, yet they are joined by a comma and a conjunction. Conjunctions like for, and, nor, but, or, and yet, and of course so. So join these independent clauses, the conjunction spell component. So if you just forgot that, okay, you can just memorize this one. Fan poise. So fan poise, if for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. So fan poise are the coordinating conjunction. The conjunction used can impact the meaning of the sentence. Impact the meaning means that it doubles the meaning because now you are joining 2 clauses. And of course, if you have the same idea, you use and. If you have contradiction, you use yet or but. If you have choices, you use or. If you are having in the 2 sentences result, you use so. Some sample of the compound sentence we may have: the cat was unsuccessful in his attempt to catch the mouse. So until here, that's a simple sentence. yet we added the comma and the coordinating conjunction, and okay, the mouse was equally as unlucky in his attempts to get the cheese. So I have two simple sentences, joined them using the comma and the conjunction, and that gave me the compound sentence. The dog had watched all of this, but he had refused to become involved. Of course, this here refers to the cat and the mouse. So the dog had watched all of this, but he had refused to become involved. Another two simple sentences or two independent clauses joined together using the comma and the coordinating conjunction. The mouse could wait until dark, or he could risk a daylight raid on the pantry. So again, two independent clauses joined by the comma and the conjunction. The cat usually slept during the day, yet curiosity held him at the corner of the kitchen. What about today's session, which is the complex sentence? So what is the difference between a compound, complex, and even simple sentence? Can someone give me any compound sentence? Khalid Al-Malki, good morning. How was your exam? Hello Faisal, how are you doing? Okay, that's very good. I hope that the rest of the exams are as great as this one. So Khalid, can you give me an example of a complex sentence? Okay. Because I was running late to work, my boss is mad. Excellent. Yes, rest in peace. Nice, Khalid. So, what do you have here in this sentence, and why do we call it a complex one? So, let's just try to analyze it. So, we have first subordinating conjunction, because I was running late for work. I have the comma, and I have my boss is mad. So if we looked at these all together, you will find out that number one, I have a conjunction. Yet it's not like the coordinating conjunction. It's called subordinating conjunction. Yeah, subordinating. I coded from the internet. Okay, so here I have a subordinating conjunction. That's pilgrimage. Okay, so because it's called what? This is called subordinating conjunction. Why do we call it subordinating conjunction? Because it makes the clause after it what? A subordinating clause. Welcome back, Mr. Khayat. How was your exam? And we have here my boss is mad. simple sentence. So simply all what Khalid did or copied, okay, dependable, was bad. Good. Subordinating clause along with a simple or dependent one. So you have a dependent clause and you have an independent clause. So simply, what can you do? Just like a simple sentence and a simple sentence, but make the other one compound. Like the example, for example, Hussein copied from the book. I went to the bakery store and I bought 2 kilos of flour. So all we can do is just to altern the coordinating conjunction along with the comma and say so that I bought 2 kilos of rice or flour. So consequently, okay, consequently, the same sentence. We can make it compound and we can also make it what? Complex. So it's only dependable upon what? The conjunction itself. No, yes, the teacher said. You could then edit the example from there and okay, enough. So complex sentence, which is our lesson today, is consider of what or consists of an independent clause. We said the independent clause consists of 3 things. Number 1, subject. Number 2, verb. Number 3, the complete idea. Joined by one or more dependent clause. So the dependent clause has a subject, a verb, yet it doesn't give me the complete idea. No idea. So the independent clause, you have the subject, the verb, and the complete idea, yet the dependent one, subject and verb, but there is no complete idea. And it also subordinating conjunction. The subordinating conjunction, and that's very, very important. What are the subordinating conjunction? Okay, stop fighting, guys. So again, complex sentence must have an independent clause, a dependent clause, and also subordinating conjunction. And if you are beginning your sentence with the subordinating conjunction, you must bring a comma between the 2 clauses. And the independent clause also has a subject and a verb, yet it doesn't make sense on its own, meaning that no complete idea or no complete information. So subordinating conjunction, very, very important. You have after, you have have, until, although, if, unless, as, in as much, as if, in order that, when, as long, at least, whenever, as much as, now that, whereas, soon, wherever, as though, since, while, because, so that, before, even if, that, even though, though. All of these are called the subordinating conjunction. And they are very, very important. Take a screenshot and I'll try to upload them. Alright, so some sample of the complex sentence we have. After he gave it some thought, the mouse decided to wait until later for his trick. So we have here the subordinating conjunction after. If we ellipse it after from the sentence, what will we have? We will have two simple sentences, and a comma. Yet, because of after here, we had the complex one. The cat fell asleep on the warm kitchen because he was deprived of sleep the night before. When the mouse heard the soft snoring of his sleeping nemesis, he scurried to the pantry and grabbed enough food for a week. The dedicated Flynn Sleuth keeps his nightly vigil, even though the foresighted mouse will not be venturing out his this week. So all of these sentences they share dependent clause, dependent clause, dependent clause. All the one in red are the dependent clauses, and we name them dependent because they cannot stand alone. All of these cannot stand alone. That's a very hideous color. Now it turns black. Nice. Okay, so that's the dependent.
Apparently, blue plus red equals black.
Yeah, that's great actually. And that's only when you have. No, that's very bad. So only when you have blue in the background of your file. That's nice. Actually, it's fun for art. So we can really learn something from that. So once again, any complex sentence consists of one independent clause, which gives you the full information, and one dependent clause. Complex, we will study it tomorrow. So, guess for yourself. The teacher walked into the classroom, greeted the students, and took attendance. What type of sentence is this? After you finish fighting, of course.
Compound complex or the hard one.
Compound complex or the hard one. Nice, Muhammad. Very good. Any other ideas? Mr. Hussein, have you?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah. What type of sentence is number one? The teacher walked into the classroom, greeted the students, and took attendance.
Complex.
Complex.
Compound
complex. So, two opinions for compound complex. Great. Khalid, type in the chat. The sentence in front of you on the screen. Compound, complex, or simple? Compound, complex. Great. Very good, all of you. That's great. Of course, the sentence in front of you is a simple sentence. So the sentence is a simple sentence. Why it's a simple sentence?
Oh wait, they're compound verbs and another.
Yeah, that's a compound verb, not compound sentence. Consequently,
red plus white equal yellow?
It's not yellow. It's yellowish.
Yeah.
So the teacher, subject, walked, verb, into the class, prepositional phrase, greeted the students, compound verb, and took attendance, also compound verb. Joanne played football while Jane went shopping.
That's complex.
That's complex. Excellent. Why?
Because while.
Because of why. So we have here one independent clause, subordinating conjunction, and of Of course, from the subordinating conjunction until the end, that's dependent clause. Joanne played football, yet Jim went shopping.
That's another complex.
No,
A compound.
that's compound. So you have two independent clauses joined together using a comma and a coordinating conjunction. Although Mexico has a better team, they lost the tournament, and their more aggressive style did not pay.
Compound complex.
Here we have dependent clause,
Boy, hard one.
independent, and another independent. So we have two independent clauses and one dependent clause. That's the compound complex. The island was filled with many trails winding through the thick underneath, small lake, and dangerous wild animals.
Compound.
Think before answering.
Oh, it's simple. I thought the and dangerous wild animals would make it compound.
Yes, only if you have here and it has. So if you have after and a subject and a verb, but here we don't have subject and a verb. That's a compound object. The island, subject, was filled, that's a verb, with many trail winding through the thick underbrush. That's all of it is the prepositional phrase which works as the object. Number two, a small lake, another object, and dangerous wild animals, a third object. So all of them are compound objects from here until the end of the sentence. So you have only one subject, one verb, and all of the sentence expresses the same idea. Consequently, that is a simple sentence.
I still can't understand how a simple sentence can be twice as big as a complex. Huh?
Because simple sentence
Why is
can
it
be a simple subject or a compound subject, a simple verb or a compound verb, simple object or a compound object. So the
So if I add one word, it can change from simple to complex.
Yes.
Which is the subject. What? Okay, okay. English is stupid.
So for example, if you here remove yet and put after, Joanne played football after Jim went shopping. So now you change it from compound into complex. And actually, that's what happened. Joanne played football. Joanne played football while Jane went shopping. So that now became a complex sentence. But here, because we have yet, which is a coordinating conjunction.
Again, one word changes the entire sentence thing. That's English stupid. Oh yeah, and the alphabet's stupid too.
So that's the whole idea, which is to figure out which coordinating conjunction or subordinating conjunction you are dealing with. If you have a subordinating conjunction, so your sentence will be complex. If you have a coordinating conjunction, then your sentence is going to be compound or compound complex. Hope you got the idea, guys.
I swear, the people who made English just wanted to sound super big brain. Sound stupidly big brain, and it backfired. Making question mark an interrogative period or whatever. I don't know.
Well, they just wanted you to suffer. What can you say?
They make the simple word of question mark into interrogative mark. That's you just tripled the characters in the word. Why?
Because it's easy that way.